Welcome to Cruise News with the Travel Scouts. Let's quickly roll through the latest cruise news to get you fully up to speed. I have 10 big updates for you today. Let's go ahead and kick it off with number 1, an accident involving an entertainer on board the current sailing of the 𝗵𝗍𝘃 𝗵𝘂𝗃 cruise ship. We have received reports that a female performer on the 𝗵𝗍𝘃 𝗵𝘂𝗃 fell from a height of approximately 10 to 12 feet during a show on the ship over the weekend. It is reported that she was unconscious after the fall, and of course the show was immediately canceled and the medical team intervened. Yesterday, when the 𝗵𝘂𝗃 arrived in Hamburg, Germany, we are told that an ambulance was waiting and picked up the entertainer once the ship arrived. No update has been provided on their current condition. We certainly pray that they are okay. Next, number 2, a warning regarding violence near the Cozumel, Mexico cruise port. Friday night, a man was gunned down less than 2 miles from the downtown area cruise dock, which is commonly used by Norwegian Cruise Line, Disney, MSC, and others. The victim is reported to be the elderly father of a man reported to be the leader of a criminal group. Now, Cozumel is typically safe for tourists, but there are times when violence flares up, usually due to infighting among criminal organizations. So much so that just last year, the Cozumel Business Coordinating Council released a statement saying, quote, "We cannot fail to point out the lack of results of the current security strategy. We never imagined that the day would come when security would sadly become the main pending task to be resolved in our beloved Cozumel. We call on the 3 levels of government to immediately address the escalation of attacks and violent events on the island of Cozumel." Now here we are entering the peak tourist season for this area, and we are once again seeing the presence of this violent infighting. The thing to be aware of as a visiting cruise passenger is that when a strike like this just happened, a criminal group leader's father was gunned down, there is an increased potential that retaliation strikes could occur. Last year, one man was gunned down just outside the gates of the secured cruise port area. Around the same time, another man was assassinated midday while having lunch at a nearby restaurant with his wife and kid. The Mexican government is aware of the potential of the increase of crime in the area right now. As tourists increase during the peak season, there's all kinds of money-making opportunities for these criminal groups. In awareness of this, the Mexican government just deployed 7,000 military and police to help secure nearby Cancun and Riviera Maya. The purpose for me sharing this is not to cause alarm. Again, the violence is not typically targeted at cruisers, but the violence threat is present, so there is a need for increased vigilance. These situations are not typically communicated by cruise lines, but you need to be aware of what is going on at the destinations that you visit so you can make wise decisions. Moving on to number 3, Carnival Cruise Line has announced that they will be opening a new private destination in Ensenada, Mexico. Ensenada is a frequent stop for West Coast sailings from the U.S., and this new Carnival destination was announced at a reveal ceremony that took place in Ensenada on Friday, with Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy present to speak about the project. The $26 million development is being called Ensenada Bay Village. Once it is open, it will feature an adults-only beach club area, zip lines, a dune rally, off-road attraction, boat rides, and more. The opening date has not yet been confirmed. Construction is expected to take approximately 2 years, so it most likely will not be ready until early 2028. More information will no doubt be released in the coming months. Then number 4, a lot of online drama has erupted over the question of FaceTiming without headphones on or making a call on speakerphone while in public places on a cruise ship. This is a practice that is becoming more and more common, not only on cruise ships, but just in general. The point of discussion is that this is something that is bringing extra noise onto the ship and is disrupting other passengers. Many cruise lines do have a rule that requires passengers to use headphones when they're listening to music or if they're watching a show on their phone, but these rules do not address the speakerphone calls or FaceTime scenarios. And it is creating a bit of tension. A recent discussion post on Reddit even suggested that a person's Wi-Fi should be revoked if they do this. Cruise lines have not yet provided much input to the discussion. They are likely waiting to get a feel for where the cruise community stands on the topic. Okay, I have more cruise news pieces remaining, including some of the top headlines of the day, but now it is time for our fast mid-show check-in. In the last video, we talked about travel documents, and I asked if you travel with a passport. I received input from more than 8,000 of you, and a huge portion, 93%, do have a passport. So look, that is great. Thank you for your input on that. Here is today's question. I would really like to get your input on the whole FaceTime and speakerphone call discussion. The question is, in public spaces, should cruisers be allowed to FaceTime without headphones or make calls on speakerphone? Chime in down below with A for yes if you believe this should be allowed and you see no problem with it, or B for no if you think some guidelines should be given by the cruise lines. Let me know in the comments where you stand on this issue. I would love to know your opinion and any other thoughts that you have. I look forward to reading your responses, but now on with the cruise news. Number 5, Carnival Cruise Line has increased their Wi-Fi prices. Carnival has 3 different internet packages, and the new prices for each are now displayed on their website. The new prices went into effect on December 1st. Let me quickly walk through the price changes for each level. The cheapest internet package is a social Wi-Fi plan. It is increasing from $18.70 to $20.40 per day. That equates to a hike of 9.1%. The mid-tier level is the value plan. It is going up 7.7% to $23.80. And the top level is the premium plan. Carnival is raising it to $25.50 per day, a jump of 7.1%. And do note, that is the price for purchasing before your cruise. If you wait to get it once you're on board, the price will typically be higher. Next, number 6, the cruise port at St. Martin has issued a new order to protect cruisers from harassment by vendors. St. Martin is located in the northeastern Caribbean. It is the port where aircraft fly directly over the beach to land at their airport. With this new order, vendors and locals will be fined $190 US if they offer services without proper authorization or if they persistently approach visitors to solicit business in a harassing way. This is all part of an effort to enhance the experience of travelers who visit St. Martin. What are your thoughts about this move by the cruise port? Let me know down in the comments. Then number 7, Port Canaveral has topped out Miami as the world's busiest cruise port. The fiscal year for the ports ended on September 30th, and with the final tallies in, Port Canaveral was the busiest. Now, 2025 was a record year for both cruise ports. Port Canaveral had 8.6 million passenger movements this year, a year-over-year increase of 13% compared to 2024. Port Miami had 8.56 million passenger movements, a jump of 4% compared to the previous year. Just as a point of historical reference, both Port Canaveral and Port Miami had less than 2 million passenger movements in the year 2000. So in just a few decades, the growth has been massive. The question is whether or not they can continue their growth trajectory. It'll be interesting to see how things develop in the coming years. I have additional important news to share with you, but very quickly, if you're new here, I'm Jason with the Travel Scouts. Our aim in each video is to put together the latest cruise news and deliver to you in such a way that you're fully up to speed and it doesn't waste your time. So if you'll be cruising, definitely consider subscribing. Let's continue with the cruise news. Number 8, a sickness outbreak has taken place on board the current sailing of the 𝗖𝗵𝗿𝗃 cruise ship. 𝗖𝗵𝗿 is a German cruise line owned by Carnival Corporation. And with this outbreak, the CDC is reporting that 95 of just over 2,000 passengers have reported symptoms, so that is nearly 5% of those on board. 6 crew members are also sick. The causative agent has been confirmed to be norovirus. Right now, the ship is near the beginning of a 133-day-long world cruise, so that's going to make it tougher to get everyone off the ship in order to do a thorough cleaning. Hopefully everyone recovers quickly. We will continue to monitor the situation. Next, number 9, data has been revealed on lodging preferences among travelers. When going on a cruise, if you don't live near the port, it often means that you'll be staying at least one night at either a hotel or at a short-term rental such as an Airbnb or 𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗏. So which one is most preferred by travelers? Well, a new study has been released, and right now 62% of travelers say that they prefer to stay at a hotel. On the screen are the top 5 reasons why people say hotels are preferred, with transparency about pricing and fees being number 1, followed by more amenities at hotels, and then a belief that hotels are cheaper overall. What about you? Do you ever opt to go with an Airbnb or 𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗏 instead of a hotel? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Then number 10, P&O Cruises is introducing cabins that can hold more passengers. P&O is a British cruise line owned by Carnival Corporation, and they have announced that they are increasing the capacity of 50 of their staterooms across 3 of their cruise ships to have the ability to hold 5 passengers each. Now, P&O has a small fleet of 7 vessels. This change is being made on their 3 newest and largest ships. This includes the P&O Britannia, Arvia, and Iona. P&O said that this change is part of their effort to add more family-friendly options. These rooms will be available on their ships beginning in the summer of 2026. Okay, I want to say a special thank you to our newest channel members, and for everyone, you are up to date. If you want to stay up to date and be ready for your next cruise, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.